Mike Tomlin is going back on his word talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and I get it. I totally understand. But he's not being truthful. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackmine. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalk and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. I want to talk to you guys about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, where Mike Tomlin sits with them, and how even if he says he was just giving us something, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers mojo and calling out his group, he's lying. He's definitely lying. I want to read you guys something. This is from last week's press conference. It is the second paragraph of his opening statement. You're about 4 or 5 lines deep. Quote, "Obviously, in reviewing the game this morning, man, we fall short in a lot of ways. We have things to work on in all 3 phases, and I'll outline some of that. Offensively, starting there, we have to get our mojo back." We are 6 lines deep into his opening sentence. He continues by going, "We got to get that mojo that we had in the preseason, where we're playing fast and fluid with confidence individually and collectively. We lost that, to be blunt, in the last several weeks." Now, let's fast forward to yesterday, take you to Mike Tomlin's press conference. This is what he had to say when asked about his team's mojo and getting it back.
I'll be really transparent with you. I didn't mean it last week when I said it. You guys asked me the question repeatedly in a bunch of different ways, and I've given you the same answer. And so sometimes I just give you a colorful answer with a word like mojo, just so you guys can run with it and we all can move on with our day. The guys that know me, they know there's nothing mystical about performance. From my mentality or our mentality, we work, we improve, and then we go play. Sometimes, man, that cycle doesn't come quick enough. We got to stand in settings like this and absorb a lot of questions. They get repetitive. And so I gave you a little something. I don't subscribe to mojo or intangible-like things and all of that BS. We just got to work harder. We got to put together better plans. The guys got to understand those plans and make subsequent plays. But oftentimes when I'm asked questions along those lines, those are the answers I give, and you guys keep asking the same questions. And so I just give you something like mojo so you can run with it.
I'm going to be blatantly honest with you, just like he was blatantly honest with us a week ago, and I respect and appreciated it. This is as much of a lie as you could possibly come up with. This is, man, I messed up big time. I got to go back on my word because I don't want to be the douchebag head coach. I don't want to be a jerk. I got to be a guy that's there for my guys, that is team oriented at all times. I'm not giving in to the media. And I respect that. I respect the hell out of that. Who Mike Tomlin is and the coach that Mike Tomlin is does not fit him calling out his players, especially in a public setting. And he had to correct that. Totally get it. But I don't think that he was truthful. And Najee Harris saying, "Oh, Mike Tomlin was just talking shit." Again, I don't think that he was. I think he genuinely was upset with his offense. I think he genuinely believed that Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett were in trouble. I think he genuinely believed that this team had way too much talent to not succeed the way that it did. And then they went into Vegas, a team that isn't that good, that didn't impress at all, that, I mean, go ahead and try and name 4 guys that are on the Las Vegas Raiders defense. I bet you can't do it. That's who they just beat. And yeah, it's great, but you could tell from the fan base, you could tell from everybody out there, nobody is jumping on the Pittsburgh Steelers are back bandwagon. Nobody is talking about, oh, this team is red hot right now. Nobody's talking about a 2-game winning streak. Nobody's talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers being a team on the rise. None of it. We are all very quiet. Everybody is just waiting until next week, waiting until Houston, waiting until Baltimore, waiting until the bye week. Why? Because the Las Vegas Raiders is not that impressive of a victory. And yeah, I get it. It bought everybody more time and everybody looked fine. But if it doesn't continue, you're just going to go right back to your words beforehand, and you've just dug yourself a hole. That's how I view Mike Tomlin right now. Is a guy that, by calling out his offense, probably made a mistake, and I get that, and I'm not I'm not upset with them for it. I thought it was a great idea. I thought that for the first time, and I came on here and said that, I thought for the first time it was a direction for change because Mike Tomlin was finally fed up with it. That for the first time, Mike Tomlin was publicly announcing or acknowledging, hey, man, look at this guy stinks and this offense stinks and we got to get this together. And then they go out and win against a really bad Las Vegas team. And now he's like, oh, I didn't mean any of that. We're back. This is a team that's back. That's a huge flaw for Mike Tomlin. That is a huge, I don't want to say mistake, but mistake for Mike Tomlin. Why? Because you just gave your team a free pass, gave your offensive coordinator a free pass, and your quarterback a free pass, and your offense as a whole a free pass against a team that isn't impressive, against a team that you should not hold your standard high to, against a team that you're going to find out this week and next week especially isn't all it's chalked up to be. And instead of sticking to your guns and saying, hey, it was a good game, we got to move forward, let's continue to build off of this, you said, no, I didn't mean any of that. The mojo thing, I didn't mean any of that. I gave you guys something. I wasn't upset with my offense at all. I believe in these guys. So what happens the next time they stink? What happens the next time that the Steelers offense scores 12 points in a game and Matt Canada and company don't get it done and the criticism comes back and you're home against the Ravens and guys are getting booed and the Fire Canada chants start again? What happens then? That's where the criticism has to come into play here. Mike Tomlin had an opportunity, and I get it. And I get that he wanted to go back on his word because of who he is and how he stands as a head coach. I understand that. But you've now put yourself in a situation where you have told everybody, we fully believe in these guys, and we have fully believed in these guys, and they've done no wrong. And that's just not true. And to be quite frank, the offense only had 333 yards. They are officially, I believe, 39 games yet to hit the 400-yard mark under Matt Canada. They scored 23 points. Only the 10th time that Matt Canada and his offense have successfully eclipsed the 20-point mark, but barely. 23 points. And you watch that game, and there's 5 or 6 drives that you're like, okay, those are really good drives. The rest of them, you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, what's going on? Are they going to lose this game? Why is it so close? Why are they giving this up again? They gave him an opportunity at the end there. You got to acknowledge that one. This team is going to continue to struggle. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's not perfect, but I'm going to say that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and they have the pieces on offense to succeed. And I thought Matt Canada called a good game, but I'm not putting all this on Matt Canada. I'm putting all this on the offense. I think as an offense as a whole, Mike Tomlin has removed himself from criticizing these guys moving forward, at least with any like real poise, at least with any seriousness. If you're Kenny Pickett, if you're Najee Harris, and Mike Tomlin comes to the podium on a Tuesday and says, man, we sucked, this offense was garbage, you're not going to believe that. You're going to say, well, next week he's just going to say I was joking, I was lying, I was just giving you guys something. That's just not true. He's made everything very soft moving forward. That's what he's done. Mike Tomlin has allowed the Pittsburgh Steelers offense now to get away with much more. It is like a child who cannot be punished. That's who the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is now. That's a bad place to be, especially with a group that is going to continue to struggle and is going to continue to have bad games, and the fans are not going to shut up about their displeasure towards Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett and everybody else. But Mike Tomlin just said, oh, they can't get in trouble. Grounded isn't a thing here. We go back on our words. That's a rough parenting style. That is a rough coaching style. Mike Tomlin just screwed up big time. And man, there were so many other ways to go about this and just deflecting the conversation. And I get it. You were stuck on a plane for 9 hours. That's got to suck. But maybe you were moody. I still don't think that it was the right answer. I think if you just said something like, yeah, I shouldn't have used the word mojo. I shouldn't have been so aggressive. I do think that they were struggling, but they've bounced back big. And, I thought that they fed off of that and they used it in the right manner. Would have been good. But no, I didn't mean any of that. Well, now they have free passes all year long. Anytime you criticize this group, can't be taken seriously. Why? Because you have just told them they cannot be in trouble.